All right, good morning, everybody. Happy Saturday, Happy New Year. Last day of 2022. I always kind of imagined 2022, but I couldn't imagine what it would actually be like. Uh, kind of, I don't know, kind of weird. 2022 was a great year for me. Hope it's been a great year for y'all. Uh, Lots and lots of good memories, good old friends coming back, getting out, getting to live life, going on the lake. Uh, Today is definitely not lake weather. It is very dreary, overcast, cloudy, foggy, drizzly, rainy-ish, and about 60-ish degrees or so, maybe a little bit warmer than that. So definitely warmer than it was last weekend, but still not lake weather, unfortunately. Um, Good morning to everybody. Let's see. I know Rune is in the chat. Dana Reed is in the chat. Good morning and happy birthday to you, Dana. Let's see. G Keyman, Pocket Women, Lockpicking Energy. Let's see. Who else? Dark Arts, Lockpicking James. Good morning. Torch of KCK. Good morning. Miko Wolf. Good morning. Robert Patton. Good morning. Let's see, who else is here? Dave Adion, good morning. Anthony, good morning. Who else here? Yeah, Dana, I was gifted through genetics, high blood pressure, so I feel your pain on that. I've been doing a lot better on it lately, though. This year, actually, that was one of the many good things to come out of this year is um, my blood pressures came back down, been under control. Lost a lot of weight this year on purpose by dieting, and that seemed to help. Um, and salt, well, it's not that hard to give up salt because once you do it and you do it hardcore, then salty things just don't appeal to you anymore. Like I can't even stand to eat French fries from McDonald's or Burger King or wherever. I don't eat at those places anymore anyway, except for breakfast. Hash browns are a little salty from McDonald's, but it's not so much it's going to kill you. Not like a large fry. Uh, but yeah, thank you. Thank you, Dana. Yeah, I've lost since April when I started my diet. I've lost probably about 50 pounds. I'm able to wear clothes that I haven't been able to fit in 10 years at least. So I'm happy about it. Feeling a lot better. Still have goals for myself before lake season starts in mid-May ish. So anyway, we'll keep it up. Uh, Last weekend, of course, on Christmas Eve, didn't do a live. That was scheduled, a scheduled outage. Um, and because I was supposed to work originally supposed to work that day for the other job, not the locksmithing job, the patrolman job, and that actually got canceled. Which I was looking forward to the money. 12 hours sitting on my rear end. At time and a half. Yeah, sure, I would take that. But it got canceled at the last minute, and so I didn't do that. We did record the last episode of the Three Tumblers that day, though. Turned out really well, I think. Just my humble, biased opinion that it turned out. I think that's our best episode so far. We're recording episode 4 today. Check it out wherever you get podcasts. I can say that officially now because we're on Apple, Spotify, I think Stitcher, Transistor, a few other places, and Tyler Thomas always uploads the audio to his YouTube channel, so check that out. Rune posted the link in the chat earlier to the latest episode, so if you're not on Tyler's channel, you can click over there and subscribe to his channel, and whenever we do a new episode, he uploads it. Let's see. Kurt O. Lock and Key, good morning. Thank you, Anthony. Yeah, let's see. Locksmiths must be eating less donuts than cops. Rune, it's funny that you say that because when I was doing that full time and I was a supervisor, every supervisor in any job is allowed to have one stupid rule and that nobody likes, nobody agrees with. The supervisor just kind of looks at them like, okay, what the hell are you thinking? My stupid rule when I was supervising was that if I caught any of my officers with a donut while they were in uniform, it was going to be a mandatory 4 hours foot patrol completed that week. And I would actually, to enforce it, I would actually get with them when we weren't running back to back to back, and I would walk with them to make sure that they got their foot patrol time in. Uh, so that was the punishment on my shifts if I caught you with a donut in uniform. This week is everybody says that the week between Christmas and New Year's is kind of the off time, the dead week, especially when they both fall. Christmas falls on Saturday, Sunday, New Year's falls on Saturday, Sunday. That whole entire week between is kind of the real quiet week. Uh, we were actually off Monday, and excuse me, Cornelia, can you make sure that the camera's pointed the right way? Thank you. Let go. Come here. Oh, it wasn't Cornelia. Where is Cornelia? Here's Cornelia. Okay. Anyway, sorry about that. Uh, but yeah, I this week we were off Monday for the holiday for Christmas, and came back to work Tuesday. And my coworker, she's been out sick all week. She thinks she probably got the flu or something, some sort of awful sinus infection, maybe COVID. And for her to be out sick is pretty significant. A lot of times when I'm out sick, it's, okay, I could suffer through the day, but I don't want to get everybody else sick. So, yeah, it's going back to be smart, stay at home when you're sick. And so she did, and that put me and my boss on the road Tuesday, and then his wife, who works in the shop, she was out sick a day, so that put me on the road all day. Um, Actually, that day I did like 8 or 9 jobs, I think, in one day, being on the road. So got them knocked out, which was good. And then, um, fortunately, Lady Boss was recovered enough. She was only out the one day and came back, and we just got busy. Originally, the start of this week, we didn't have much on the schedule at all. And everything that came in, we wound up taking it. Um, yesterday, yesterday we did a job. I, One of the calls I'd gotten was to go look at some doors on a commercial property, and the exit devices weren't working correctly. Well, I get there and I'm like, yeah, these are 8 foot doors. Probably going to have to drop them because they have concealed vertical rods in the exit devices, and I can't do that by myself. So Jason and I went out there yesterday and spent 4 hours absolutely locksmithing the crap out of these doors. I mean, it was to repair and make them work again because the model, they're Falcon exit devices, and they were discontinued probably 2 years before that building was built. So that's somebody's old stock that they had. They just slapped on the doors. And so you can't get parts for them anymore. And the parts for the model that replace that model are not backwards compatible. Nothing lines up. So we really had to just fix it. You're dealt what you're dealt sometimes. And one door we've got to go back and add a top latch to it because the top latch exploded on us. Um, Top latch assemblies. I'll get one and bring it in one day, and we can dissect one, and you can see what I'm talking about. Excuse me. Um, they were literally climbing the walls this morning when I came in. Uh, why are you wet? Have you been? Did you take a bath in the water bowl again? I think you did. Okay. All right. So anyway, that's kind of been the week. Let's see. Let's see. So when you stopped being supervisor, did you have donuts delivered anonymously? Okay, there's been one instance in which I did make an exception to the rule. I had two officers who were riding together in a patrol car at the end of the shift to come back to headquarters, and uh, anyway, they were in a motor vehicle accident on the interstate. They weren't hurt, but they were shaken up a little bit, and so I went down there. I had already gotten back to the office, went back down there to the scene, checked on them, made sure they were okay, got the information about, tow truck, all that good stuff, got it all taken care of. And I was going to take these guys home. And on the way, we stopped. I pulled into a gas station because we all needed, a Mountain Dew or something. That's back when I drank soda still. And we went in there and I bought us 3 donuts. I said, each of you pick out a donut that you want. And we had donuts and Mountain Dew on the way back. So I did make a exception to that one time. Yes, this one loves to get on camera. Y'all saw the clip of him. We don't post the video from the podcast recordings, but because it would just be so much editing. That would be so much editing, and video editing is clunky. I mean, normally it takes me about 3.5 to 4 hours to edit one episode of the podcast to get it to sound like I want it to. And but anyway, this one got up in the camera as y'all saw in that clip, and Jeff was trying his hardest not to bust out laughing. It's a good thing Tyler didn't see it because he would have just completely lost it, and we would have had to re-record everything um, for that block. But anyway, let's see here. In our shop, if you get promoted this different position or certification pay increase, you must bring in at least 5 dozen for the group. Now, I tell you, I work for some great, great people, and there's always food and always sweets. Thing is, I really don't eat sweets a whole lot. Uh, I've never been a huge, huge fan of sweets, and as I've gotten older, my taste for sweets has just decreased. Sorry, I'm doing kitty management. And, oh, we're buffering. Um, but anyway, so yeah, I just don't eat a whole lot of sweets. All right. Great job on the editing. Thank you, Anthony. I appreciate that. Hopefully, the episode that's coming out, that will be coming out to maybe tomorrow. If I get it all done today, then it should be. Jeff and Tyler review the episode before it's published. They'll listen to it, make sure I didn't miss anything or screw anything up real bad, or say, hey, we need to clip this out of there, something like that. So after they review it and put their stamps of approval on it, then Jeff uploads it. That's why he is the technical producer, because he uploads everything, keeps track of that. Tyler's the executive producer because he's the man with the money, and I'm the editor because I edit everything, and I write. I'm considered the writer because I do a show outline every week. Um, Locks, New York. Good morning, Jay. It's an age thing. Yeah, Dana, it is an age thing to lose your taste for sweets, I think. Maybe. I don't know. I have not reached the age for less interest in sweets yet. Man, I used to eat sweets. I used to get like a little thing of Pepperidge Farm cookies. I love oatmeal raisin cookies, but even those now, a really good one is just too sweet, sugary for me. All right, so as the title suggests, we're building an access control system today. And I was doing some prep work for all this before the live started, and I'd found my components. I borrowed some from the shop. Please give y'all's thanks to my boss, Jason, for giving me some wire, a power supply. Actually, he didn't give this to me. I've got to take it back Monday, put it back on the shelf. Power supply and wire, so I've got that. I think I got this strike from Jeff at HKS. I got a keypad that I took off of a job. We replaced it. Strike I took off of a job. We're going to look at all this, but in preparing this morning, I had never powered this up. I remember, I think, if this is the same one that I replaced, now it might be something that somebody else sent me, but if it's the one that I replaced, it worked. It's not working now, so we'll kind of look at that. So I can't really show you exactly what I wanted to, which was a full, simple access control system. Now, access control is one of these things that I never knew I would be really interested in. I never thought about it when I was getting ready and learning how to become a locksmith, and which I mean, I'm still learning how to be a locksmith. One day I want to be a locksmith, but uh, when I was studying for my test and just learning simple hands-on stuff on lives, I really didn't know anything about access control, and it wasn't there. It wasn't that I was completely uninterested or disinterested like I am when it comes to automotive, but access control was kind of like safes. It's out there, but I thought, oh, well, that's, safe people and that's access control people, and those are different. This is rekeys and residential and some commercial hardware. Nah, I've really gotten to like access control, and it's a good thing I like it too, because probably 60% of our business out of the shop I work for is commercial, and out of that 60%, at least half of that is access control related, whether it's installing new systems or repairing existing systems, maintaining them, uh, just all kinds of stuff. Standalone keypads. That's why you see so many. I was looking for parts for this live over on my shelves, and I have like 6 old Kaba Eplex 5000s, the keypad locks that I've shown before, just in parts, pieces, etc. over here. And and that's considered access control to a degree. It's standalone, self-contained. These are standalone. This system is a standalone system, but it's a lot more customizable than like a keypad lock. But it all kind of falls under the same category. So we do a metric crap ton of access control. Let's see. Let me look at the chat here. Logs and Y actually very similar to a Hess 9400, but this is the Trine version. This is their rim strike. And we'll talk a little bit about different strikes. We've got several here, and we'll talk about these here in a second. So the first component, probably the most crucial component that you have of any access control system, is the power supply. And you might look at that and say, well, that looks kind of dinky, you know? That's just a wall wart plug-in. It's got a little homemade wire coming out of it. You know, it works. Folks, you can have an entire system powered by one of these. It will do it all. And you can do 12 volt or 24 volt here in the US, obviously. Outside the US, Rune, you could probably tell me a little bit better what, in your area at least, common voltages are for access control stuff. But here in the US, it's either 12 or 24 volt. DC, you can do an AC system, but I've seen like 2 or 3 of those, and the hundreds others that I've seen are all DC. So you can see that. Wire, got to make sure that you're able to pull the wire. There's some considerations in North Carolina as far as locksmithing. Basically, older locksmiths who were able to run wire for access control before licensing regulations, they were grandfathered in. So that's how we're able to do that. You know, my boss is able to do that. If I were to go on my own, or my boss said, no, I don't want to work on the road anymore, which he doesn't, but, you know, it's his company, so he does whatever he has to keep it going well. And, you know, I would have to get a low voltage electrician's license, which, I don't know, maybe one day I might be interested in that. My dad had low voltage and residential electrical license, and I think it was some form of commercial electrical license. It wasn't like a full-blown commercial electrical license, but he could do like a small office building or something. Let's see here. I want to be a locksmith myself one day. Yeah, Jay, I think all of us here want to be locksmiths one day. Let's see. Okay, I missed your Twitter post, but yeah, 4 strikes in a week. Yeah, um, we do all kinds of different systems. We'll do systems that have strikes. We'll do systems that have just levers. They're self-contained but networked wirelessly. I'll talk about that in a second. Uh, we'll have these little dinky strikes. This is a dinky strike. And I'll tell you about that here in just a second too. But anyway, you got to have power. So you run power. You can use a simple power supply like that, or you can actually use a power supply like this. Yeah, it's rather dusty. This is an AC one. I didn't use this power supply because uh, it was fried. That's why we replaced it. So it's bad, but I kept the box. Uh, I might swap it out for something. I might use the box for something. It might go into recycling. I don't know. Maybe. Not really recycling, but the trash, definitely. Um, let's see. Now, maglogs, we don't do maglogs. That's the one access control element that we don't do. Just because you have to, like, if an existing system has a maglock, we will service it. But as far as installing a new system with maglocks, we don't do that. Just because you have to wire, for those of you who don't know, maglog is an electromagnet. There's it's mounted to the frame, and then the door has a uh, ferrous plate on it, so like a steel plate that the magnet attracts to, kind of sucks the door shut and it holds it shut. Life safety codes around here at least say that you have to have a motion sensor to release the mag lock. You also have to have a physical request to exit button. So you have to be able to hit that button if the motion sensor fails so you can leave. And so you have to install extra components and stuff. Uh, Maglocks really don't ever go bad, though. That's the one benefit of them. All the supporting components go bad. Motion sensors go bad. Request to exit buttons go bad. Controllers go bad. All that stuff. In fact, the system that box came off of was it was a maglock. But let's see. So just so you know, my internet's better than the last time, 2 weeks ago, but it's still not 100% where it needs to be. So the next thing that you need after you have power is you need something to control that power with. And IEI keypads, they've gone through several name changes, but basically they're known for these little standalone keypads. You've got a controller built in here, so all of your codes are stored in this keypad. You put in your code, you do programming through number sequences. So you'd put in like a master code and then do like pound and then another code after that. Or I think it was like for these, I think it's like 99 pound and then your master code, and then it'll light up and beep. Um, and then you can program features. Some of them have built-in clocks so that you can actually schedule an open time where Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, the door will be unlocked, but after hours, you have to use a key code. There are, what's the brand? I think it's Enforcer. I think it's the Enforcer line. I think it's made by Sonatrol. Uh, they have standalone keypads that are actually really, really good quality. They're weather and vandal resistant. So they're nice stainless steel backlit numbers. And they actually make some that have Bluetooth capability, so you can use an app. And, if you're standing there at it, you can use your phone to release the door or whatever. Um, but basically, these are, in their very simplest essences, a switch. It's like a light switch. You throw the switch, the light comes on. You throw the switch back, it turns off. And so that's, if you're not real up on electrical or electronics, just think of it as a light switch. And is taking the power, here's your switch, then you need something for it to go to. Because, you can have a light fixture, but not have a bulb in it. Your switch works, you got power and everything, but you're still not getting any light, so you need a bulb. And the bulbs, so to speak, to follow that analogy, would be your actual locking mechanism on the door. Let me look here. S&M, lock and key, good morning. See, Rune, we would use a relay to combine DC and AC. By using AC for the strike, you get the nice buzzing tone to indicate open without having an LED. Okay, that's really kind of weird because, of course, here in the US, the um, access control with electric strikes, they started out as AC powered, and it would be AC 120 volt. Well, AC, alternating current, goes back and forth like that. And so you go back and forth like that a bunch of times, it's going to vibrate the solenoids in a strike, And like Rune said, you get a buzzing sound. Most, nobody that I know sells a 120 volt AC system or strike here in the US. At least I've never seen one since I've been doing this, and I've never seen one in a catalog or at any of the trade shows I've been to. However, people do like that nice buzzing sound. And so most manufacturers will actually sell you a buzzer kit, and you install it basically in the frame behind the strike, in line with the strike that you have. And whenever that access is granted, then it produces a buzzing sound just to emulate that, because some people really, really like the buzzing sound. Um, so yeah, you actually have to purchase that separately. Buzzer is not included with your buzzer system. um, let's see here. Dave Addy on maglocks are a bad idea all around, cheap but otherwise dangerous. Um, yeah, I mean, Dave, they're very, very secure. I mean, the pull force to break one of those, you're not going to be able to break it. You'll break the door and the frame before you'll actually break that magnetic bond. It's the installation and the number of components that you have to have in there. And if you have component failure, then you do have a dangerous situation. That's why I like, uh, we'll talk about some of this, but like an exit device with a rim strike, um, that's a little bit, that is safer, to your point. Let's see here. Secure Tech, good morning. Um, bent doors from the damn kids. Yeah. Bent doors at the factories too. Let's see here. Uh, yeah, I mean, we've got junk to work on too, but we don't replace it with more junk. We we do something that we're going to need. And this might be a tease. This might be a tease for a certain locksmith podcast episode that is upcoming. Uh, Sometimes we'll have customers say, hey, I want a buzzer on this door or access control or whatever. And we get there and we look at the door and we're like, no, we're not going to do it. You can replace the door. We'll sell you a new door and install it if it's a door that we would sell and install. But just if the frame's out of whack, the door's out of whack, we'll flat out tell them, say, look, we'll quote you for all this, but you're going to have to do this in order for us to install the access control system that you want. Let's see. As a firefighter, I keep concrete nails in my fire helmet. So I get up to. Okay. Yeah. S&M, that's pretty good. Um, it's actually a pretty good idea. Yeah, my contacts are better. They're a little dry right now because I got heat and the fan going in here. And I did get backup glasses, so I do have those. Uh, yeah, I'm not all up on the screen. Hop skippity, good morning, happy new year. Use 13 volt AC with 8 volt DC for door phone systems. Okay. Yeah, again, I think like the A phone systems, that's AIPHONE, A phone systems, which are door phone systems that we see a lot of. We don't install those, but we do have to deal with them because they are a part of access control. And I think most of those, I don't know if they run, because I know like US telephone systems are, at least the old landline, not anything that's networked or IP, but I think most of them are 90 volts. I think they're 90 volts. DC? I don't know. Night Night Owl and Jeff Moss aren't here, and both of them have background in telephones, and they'd be able to tell me right away. But yeah, it's interesting. Anthony, yes, it is like using an audio of an old car sound in an electric car. Tim the teaser, yep. Lowell Forbes, good morning. And let's see, I should have enough parts here to set up a complete demo system with door phone, code keypad, etc. That's pretty cool, Ren. Um, yeah, and my internet is crapped out, so I don't know what y'all are saying right now in the chat. It's buffering. So I'll go on. Um, so like I was saying, you need, once you get power and a controller, you need to do something with that. So you need to secure the door. And one of the most common ways that we secure doors, at least around my shop, is we use strikes, electric strikes. And what these do, this is a big one, and it's broken. I know it's broken. I'll show you why here in a second. But basically, where is it? You would never use a privacy latch on an access control system, by the way. But basically, the latch comes in behind the strike and gets hung there. So if you have a locking lever, then that's in there, that's locked. The only way that you're going to be able to get out is from the inside, because you always have free egress to the outside. From the inside, you pull the lever down, it retracts the latch, you open the door, just like any other system. From the outside, though, it's locked, so you can't get in by just pulling the lever down. And typically, you would use a storeroom function lever for this. But you have you have it trapped in there until you apply power or take power away. We'll talk about that later. Apply power to the strike, and it releases to where the strike opens. That's how I know this one's broken. If you put it this way, that opens up. If you turn it upside down, it doesn't open. Yeah, it's broke. But anyway, whenever you apply power, so when you pull on the door from the outside, that swings freely away, allowing the latch to come out and the door to open. For other systems, also this one is a fail-safe, and I'll explain the difference between fail-safe and fail-secure in a minute. But yeah, you can see how that swings open and would let the latch come out and the door open. For exit devices, y'all have seen me take this thing apart. Man, getting a lot of mileage out of this old thing as far as videos. For exit devices, you really don't want to do something like that for regular, cut-in strike. So you use a rim strike, which is what this is, and it's surface mounted to the frame of the door. So you have, the little frame where it pops out, and you've got the stop for the door, so it keeps the door from swinging inward too far. So on that stop on the frame, you mount this, and when the door closes, latch from the exit device comes in and gets trapped behind these two teeth right here. And that way, in an emergency, you push on the exit bar on the exit device, lets you out. So you can always have free egress from the inside to get out, because believe it or not, the most important thing, according to code, the locksmith needs to worry about is people being able to get out of the building, not secure the building from entry. But here in our codes, our life safety codes that we have to follow, we have to make sure that everybody can get out every door without doing anything extra. So you don't have to badge out. You don't have to do anything other than basically run into the door and get out. That's for commercial buildings. Residential, you have to ensure that there's no extra device needed. In other words, a double cylinder deadbolt, we don't touch those. That might be another tease. Stay tuned for the podcast. Anyway, so you have to consider all this when it comes to it. But basically, these will open up because you got your power, because everything takes power. You have your controller, which is your switch, but it's a smart switch. So it says, hey, we'll flip the switch whenever you put the code in, and it'll turn on, send power to one of these things, and these things release, and that lets you pull the door open. Pretty cool, huh? And of course, it gets so much more complex because instead of just this, you could have a keypad and a badge reader. You could have just a fob reader where you have a little key fob that you hold up and the door opens. The system sees it. You can have remote release, which could be something as simple as a physical button, or it can go all the way up to having an app that's connected to the cloud system, to the cloud for your system. So when you're on vacation at the beach and your employee gets to the warehouse that nobody ever really goes into, but you sent them there for an emergency, and they say, oh crap, I just drove an hour and a half and don't have my little key fob, and they call you while you're sitting on the beach, and you say yes, and they say, yeah, I forgot my fob, and you say, I'll let you in, give me just a second. You open your app, hit the button, they're in. Boom. Pretty cool. Again, you can also have your controllers program times that the door is unlocked. Excuse me, I'm doing a show here. I know you're trying to do a show here too. Come here. You just want attention. So I mean, you can program that for like an office building or something where you've got people coming in Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. Yes, you've been stealing the show, I know. So you can program that. You can also do dual layers of credentials, meaning you have to apply a key fob to a keypad and put your code in. Change the code, every 30 days or whatever you want to do. I mean, you can make it really, really cool. You think that it exists only in, techno thriller movies, but we can actually do this, and it's actually pretty simple to do it. And I think that's the coolest thing about, access control that I like, is that you can go from really simple, like a keypad lock. My Schlage Sense deadbolts that are on my house could be considered a form of access control. Or you can go all the way up to this. If I wanted to, and I had the money to spend on it, I could do access control for my shop, my house, my safes. I mean, there are ways to tie into a safe. With certain systems, not too many, and I wouldn't want to do that, but you could possibly do it. And I mean, the options are endless. So as a locksmith, I think that's really, really cool to be able to do. All right, let's look here in the chat. Is my chat disconnected and then reconnected? Let's see here. Excuse me, Kenny. I appreciate you being my cameraman, but it really needs to be aimed right there. Can you please let go? Thank you. Come here. Let's read the chat. Come on. Let's see. Dave Addion and Rin. Okay, cool. 90 volts AC for ringing and 48 volts DC for line. US use 48 volts ringers up there by 100. Okay, cool. House lockout at midnight. That's what a traveler's hook is for. Lol. If the latch is, if everything's installed correctly, then your dead latch is going to engage right here on the edge of the strike. And a shrum tool, Carolina roller, traveler's hook, whatever, is not going to work for you. And we have actually the location that this came out of. This strike you can buy on Amazon for less than 50 bucks. Okay. It's cheap. We replaced it with the same thing because this one was giving them trouble. And I also had to, again, locksmith the hell out of the door frame to make everything work. And, you know, but the dead latch is engaged and we didn't key the levers that are there. So anytime I'm there, it's like, okay, if the strike doesn't work or they don't give me the correct code to get in to fix something else, then I have to pick the lock, storeroom lever, pick the lock, enter. Fortunately or unfortunately, it's not too difficult. And I'm thankful that they have the clutched levers on all those doors, so you don't have to pick sideways like this. You can just pull the lever up and kind of pick normal almost. Let's see here. Let's put a large latch guard over those electric strikes. S&M, yeah, sometimes we'll do a latch guard over them, depending on the installation. I mean, we do, but also like, a smaller strike like this Hess strike. This is the trying to see if there's a model number on here because I don't remember. Yeah, Hess 8000C. These are rated to 1,000 pounds pulling force when they're working. This one obviously is not, but when they're working, they're rated to 1,000 pounds pulling force. 1,000 pounds is going to break something else before it breaks your strike. Um, and I mean, you can if you don't have it right, then I mean, yeah, for an exterior door, I would do a latch guard. Just standing here thinking about it, I would do a latch guard on those for those reasons because somebody could try to get in there with a pry bar or a big screwdriver or something. Um, but a lot of what we see in our area is for exterior doors, commercial buildings, you have to have an exit device. So we'd have a rim strike, and with a rim strike, that's going to be located on the inside because the door swings up to the stop. This is mounted here, so the edge of the door is actually over here. You can't get to the latch in the exit device. And especially if you have top and bottom vertical rod exit device with your strikes, with top and bottom electric strikes or an electrified exit device, you're really not going to get in there. So that's kind of what we see. Let's see, nose cam. Did I name these cats yet? I have names for them, but I'm not going to say them on my live, Jay. And yes, they are still up for adoption. I am still trying to find somebody to take them. I didn't really try to advertise before Christmas because people like to get, you know, pets for Christmas, and then 2 months later they're tired of them, don't want to deal with them. Live catastrophe show. We haven't had any catastrophes lately. Yeah, they are all healthy. Yep, Rune is exactly right. That's why I do not, uh, why I have not named these. If I mess with cameras, I get cuddles. Get puts down, but once more cuddles, time to go mess with camera again. Yep, pretty much. Let's see. Yeah, Anthony, you don't find many access control systems in uh, residential properties. Commercial properties, though, if you do some commercial stuff, then you will probably eventually one day run into something. And again, like I was saying, you can make this as simple as honestly, we've done a couple systems where it was a doctor's office or medical type office, and they wanted to be able to keep a door locked just to keep people from walking straight back, but didn't want to have to get up to go to the door and open it, say, yeah, come on back. Uh, or people would run out and say, hey, I was in there. They just wanted a button to unlock the door. That's it. That's a classic buzzer request. Even though it doesn't buzz, I mean, some of them click, some of them you can hear click. And in fact, we can try with some of these. Um, my wire strippers are about as sharp as a bowling ball. I know I've got another pair somewhere. I just could not find them for the life of me. And don't worry, I've got really, really great ones at work. But those are work ones, not YouTube Live ones. Um, so let's do this. And if you can, you're not always able to, but if you can, whenever you are working on an access control system, disconnect the power. If you're able to, if you are able, if you have something like this going into something like this, for your own good, disconnect the power if possible. You do not want the wires to touch because then all of the magic smoke will leak out somewhere. You might not see it where you are, but it will leak out somewhere uh, if these wires touch. So let's see what we get out of this thing here. All right, so that is locked. Take this, plug it into my power strip. Maybe. Okay. And I did get these because they're probably bad. Now, for the times that you can't disconnect the power for whatever reason, you got to be very, very careful. And always keep your wires nice and straight and twisted together. Let's try this one. Now, this one is a fail safe, meaning that if the power goes out, then it's unlocked. I hate fail safe. I do everything fail secure because if it's set up correctly, everybody can get out of the building. That's the important part. But what if your building is a warehouse where there's nobody in it and the power goes out at 3 in the morning? Do you want all your doors to unlock? No, you don't. You want it to fail safe, which means that whenever the power goes out or it doesn't have any power to it, this is completely locked. Let's see if we can get something out of this. Yeah, I wonder if my power supply is bad. It's a brand new out of the box power supply. Yeah. Hold this thought just a moment. Mm, if this works, I'm going to be pissed because I've got like 5 minutes left on my scheduled time. And I've just been, what is it, boviating? Is that the correct word for yammering? The grammatical term for yammering? Because in the field, you're not explaining this to anyone except your customers. Might be another tease. And yes, you do have to talk to your parts and equipment. All right. So basically on the back of this power supply, you got screw terminals that you can put that to, and that's how you hook everything up. Let's put this here. Yeah, I'm going to be pissed if I just hooked that one up wrong. Because I should have gotten a click. I know this one would have given me a click. Yeah, Rune, we do have battery backups in some of our systems. The biggest system that we sell is actually cloud-based. Hey, look at that! Tim screwed up. Yeah. Jeez. Wheeze. Really? All right, so now blow. Yeah, real world would be a broken wire and a jam. Yeah, that sucks. Um, my, my boss, like the first day I was on the job, we went to commercial property and uh, we were trying to adjust a door. Wire ran, long story short, a wire ran through a pivot, um, and he grabbed it with a Carolina roller, accidentally broke the wire, shorted them out for that door. It was not good, but he did say, to the customer, said, hey, whatever your access control company, because they had a different access control company, and he said, hey, whatever they charge you to come out and fix it, send me the bill and I'll pay it. Um, so, like I was saying, with this, you can do a simple code, and you see the light change from red to green, And it stays that way for a little bit and then switches back because you don't want it to stay unlocked after you do that, right? So let me disconnect my power now that I realized I was an idiot. And I'm going to use this little jumper. Let's see. This is, all right, so normally closed and normally open is going to go along with your fail safe. That's getting more into the electricity part of it. Lock-a-lot. Hello, sir. Haven't seen you in a while. Let's see. There's no such thing as a cloud. It's just someone else's computer. Yes, it would. Yes, Jay, my voltmeter is in my car, in the trunk of my car. Sure as crap ever. It is there because I would have, I should have made the extra walk down there to get it, test for voltage. Because you know what? At work, in my tool bag, I have a voltmeter in my tool bag. And my tool bag goes everywhere with me. Let's see. Is it normally closed or normally open? We'll have to switch this around here in a second. Because I can't see. No. It'd be, I'm going to do this. It's common. Common is like your ground. And then I'm going to wire to normally open. So there you can see my wire connections on the back. And then I'm going to do this here. Just twisty these together. I knew that keypad was good. Couldn't prove it until proving myself to look like an idiot, but it did. Finally figure it out. Yeah, Lock-a-lot, long time. No chat. Hope you're doing good. Hope deer season was good to you this year. All right, so here we have our red light. Strike is locked. There's no guarantees on this strike because we know it's broke. But and still no guarantees on this strike. I hate to cut the wires on this train strike, but then again, I'll never use it as far as a customer because we carry Hess strikes. Actually, we really like magnetics. That's kind of what we do. Use common and normally open. Yeah, that's what I did. I realized it. Right. Now, the connector, these strikes come with pigtail connectors. So this would stay on here, and then you plug it into that pigtail connector. And normally those connectors determine, like they're jumpered for either 12 or 24 volt systems. So like the Hess and Locknetics rim strikes, I think, what is it? 9200 is the Hess model. You would have a little jumper that you wire in. Like I said, my wire strippers are sharp as a bowling ball. There we go. So you would never ever have to do this from a strike in the field. And the reason why, I think one of the reasons why they do that is because when the strike does fail, you don't have to do a whole lot extra. Now, this one did come out of the box, but it did not have a pigtail with it. Jeff at HKS sent that to me in a big box of stuff a long time ago. So let's get this together here. Get that one there. Get this one here. And again, a rim strike like this would be used for an exit device type application. And you can see locked. So you put ground to strike in keypad. So ground to strike in the keypad, 12 volt to keypad, plus and C to strike, C strike to normally open. Okay, so one to normally open, and then gotcha. Let's try that. These wires separated, otherwise I'll be buying a 12 volt power supply from a job. And I am glad you're here to assist with wiring. Probably still shaking your head and saying, no, Tim, that's not what I meant. Yeah, that's not what you meant. Yeah, Ronan. I went around my ass to get to my elbow again. Alright, so if I can get my wires to go in there, like that, and maybe so Rune can see what I did. Y'all can see what I did. And strike, get ground, power source. I need a jumper. We got a jumper. Alright, let me unplug that. And let me get so I need a jumper between ground and common. Is that what you're saying, Rune? Jumper between ground and common? Normally in all my previous lines of work, we tried to avoid jumpers. Let's do this here. Okay. Jumper. Yes. Okay. All right. The jumper. Yes. I get it. I get it. I get it. That needs to be a little bit longer. I need to buy a new set of wire strippers for the house. And if my internet was bad and Tyler Thomas was here, he'd be like, "You need to get strippers for your house? What? Huh?" Yeah. Yeah, probably do need strippers for the house. All right. Normally I'm under adult supervision when I do this in the field, so don't worry. And like I said, the wireless system that we install a lot of is Salto. And so basically you have wireless access points for Salto to connect to. And then all the hardware on the door is actually just is standalone, so it's battery powered. Don't have to worry about doing all this. And that's what I like selling. That CO100s. I might try to sell an alarm lock air access system one day. Took the class on it. It's pretty cool. Alright, now let's turn the power back on. We got power. Jumper between C and negative. Keypad's fine. It's not firing the strike though. Let's try this. Maybe the strike is bad. Alright. Jumper to power, not to ground. I knew that, Room. I was just checking to make sure you knew that. And the end of my jumper. Make a better jumper. There. There. Jeff from HKS, I saw you sneak in here. You must have heard your ears burning, because I've mentioned you a couple times. Read my comments, dang it. Yes, Rune, I'm reading your comments now. Got to keep in mind that I've got slow internet. I don't know if my boss is watching this, but if he is, he's probably just shaking his head. So, yeah, I'm going to put you on quick set rekeys. That's all you're going to be doing. Nah, he wouldn't say that. He'd say, all you're going to be doing is this over and over and over again until you get it right. That's exactly what my boss would say. There. All right. Put power to it again. There we go. Strike's open. Now it's locked because it goes for 5 seconds. Hot damn. I might actually learn how to do access control one day. Maybe not today, but one day. So let's start wrapping up because I need a break between now and when we record the podcast. That's for sure. Uh, anyway, we've successfully built an operating access control system. Despite my best efforts, it all came together in the end. Rune, thank you very much. Jay, thank you as well. Everybody who is offering me technical support in the chat, I appreciate it. I did figure out my power problem first, though. So I did that. Don't blame the internet for not looking at the screen. Okay, Rune, I'll take that. Yeah, Torch is right. Rune, I need you'll have to become like my producer for some of these lives. You know, that way you can whisper in my ear and say, "Hey, no." Okay. Knowing you, you probably wouldn't whisper. You'd say, "Damn it, Tim, don't do that. I just told you, don't do that." And so yeah, you'd probably get frustrated with me. But anyway, y'all, I appreciate it. We've gone 20 minutes over budget on time, which is fine because I got to set up for doing the podcast, which will be recorded. You can find the Three Tumblers podcast anywhere that you get podcasts: Apple, Stitcher, Spotify, anywhere else. And Tyler Thomas posts the audio on his channel. I want to say thank you to every one of you who comes to my lives when I do them, when I don't. I know I didn't do a bunch this past year because of summertime. Going to the lake. Going to the lake actually was awesome for me. It really, really let me work through some things, and I really enjoyed it. I hated leaving you guys behind all those Saturdays. This coming summer, we'll figure something out. I don't know exactly what, probably something sort of the same, but we'll get it worked out and we'll do lives. We'll do more like this. If you'd like to see more access control stuff like this, then let me know. And even if you don't want to see more like this, I'm going to do more like this because there's so much more to access control, and I find it so fascinating to 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 do all this and make it work. And but no matter what I do here, I know that you guys are going to show up. You're going to sit around, cut up in the chat, and we're all going to hang out. And it's kind of like that Saturday morning at the barbershop type feel where all the regulars get together and we just talk about everything. And I really, really enjoy that. And I'm looking forward to doing that in 2023. And I really, really hope to see each and every one of you there. Of course, I understand if you got to work, you got to work. You got to make that money. And if you just want to sleep in one day and you can't make it, that's great too. But anyway, y'all have a great, great new year. I'll be there next Saturday. Should be next Saturday. Uh, Y'all have a safe and happy celebration tonight, no matter what you're doing. I'll probably be sound asleep, unless if the internet goes off, in which case the TV goes off, in which case I can't sleep. So everybody, please be safe tonight. Be careful. If you're going to be out away from home celebrating, make sure that you have somebody who can drive you home if you need a driver. And yeah, have a great, happy new year. I truly, truly appreciate each and every one of you because you've made some of these years really, really awesome for me in spite of other things that I had going on that I've never talked about, probably won't. But anyway, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Have a happy new year. I will see you next year for the first episode of 2023. Not sure if the podcast episode will get released before next year or not, but stay tuned for it. As always, stay safe, stay happy, stay healthy, stay out of trouble. We'll see you next time.